I'm Lani Diane Rich. This is How Story Works, and guess what? I'm back. Hello, How Story Works listeners, and now that I'm on YouTube, hello viewers. For any new viewers finding me here on YouTube, there are 27 episodes of How Story Works in the podcast feed that will give you the basics of the course. What we're doing here on YouTube is going to be about applying those concepts to other stories. So if you want to brush up, go to your podcast app of choice and search Chipperish or How Story Works, and it'll show up there along with everything else that I do, which is basically applying these concepts to specific stories, along with a healthy dash of societal thought and commentary in my criticism. What I do here on YouTube will also show up in that feed in audio form. For the listeners who are getting this through the traditional podcast app, guess what? I'm also doing the show on YouTube so that I can include some visual elements, especially when we start talking about specific story fixes. It might be worth your time to go to YouTube, search for Chipperish, and subscribe to the channel. Plus, if you haven't seen me yet, I'm pretty cute. So that's a bonus too. All right, all of that out of the way, let's get moving into the next phase of How Story Works. Today, I'm going to talk a bit about story in general, as well as the balance of magic and craft. So let's start with a basic review of story. If you need to brush up on any of these concepts, you can revisit the first 27 episodes of the How Story Works podcast. It's all there. In the beginning of this course, I told you that stories are a series of events with meaning. The important part is not the series of events. It's the meaning that they deliver. Central narrative conflict is the mutually exclusive conflict between a protagonist and an antagonist. It's a zero-sum game. If one wins, the other must lose. Structure is the order in which the series of events are sequenced. The structure escalates the central narrative conflict. That's how you know what the central narrative conflict is, as there can be additional conflicts riding alongside the central narrative conflict. The structure sets up and escalates the central narrative conflict, then climaxes with either the antagonist or protagonist winning while the other loses. It doesn't matter which one wins, just that one wins. And then resolves the story, showing us how the world has changed in the process. Characters are built as a collection of strengths, things they can do, weaknesses, things they can't do, and vulnerabilities, things that can hurt them. I call this the character triangle. It is not important to balance a character triangle with an equal number of strengths, weaknesses, and vulnerabilities. What is important is to have a representation from each vertex of the triangle. As vulnerabilities are the most powerful, often only one strong vulnerability is required. Okay, that's the basics. Again, I got into much greater detail in the first 27 episodes of the How Story Works podcast, so you can explore or review concepts there as needed. Now let's talk about the two essential elements of storytelling, magic and craft. Craft is the stuff I've been teaching you. It's conflict, structure, character building, sequencing. It's the stuff you can put your back up against, the part with the rules. It's building a stage for the magic to dance upon. Magic is the fun stuff, and it comes from you. Who you are, what you believe to be true about the world. It's tone, sense of humor, philosophy, fun. It's the good stuff. It's the stuff we actually care about. Now, for some, the craft part of all of this is the boring part, the building of the stage, the part they don't care about so much. It's rules, it's trade work, it's union dues, it's drudgery. They want to get right to the magic, and so they say, if magic is the good stuff, the important stuff, why do I have to bother with all this stuff, building the stage to code? That's not fun. I'd argue that it can be fun, that it is fun, but it's also hard work, and it doesn't come naturally to everyone. For some, your very nature is going to fight it. And that's okay. My nature resists drudgery too. I can't tell you how boring I find showers and brushing my teeth, but I do it because I like other people and I want them to not hate being around me. Anyway, for others, craft is everything. It's rules, it's reason, it's a thing they can put their back up against when they're scared or panicked. It's not vulnerable. If you focus on craft, you're doing what you're told and it's not your fault. If it's bad, it's because the blueprint was bad. Magic is vulnerability. Not your characters, but yours. Magic reveals who you are, what you think, how you see the world. And some people might not like it. It is you, and if they don't like your magic, they don't like you. It's scary. Although I would like to put forth that if you're doing your magic right, some people shouldn't like it. If everyone likes what you do, chances are it's not genuine, brave, or interesting. Everyone might like it, but few will love it. Few will be passionate about it. And personally, I'd rather have some people be passionate about what I do and others not get it or even actively dislike it than have everyone like it and have it not be that interesting. That's how you know you're doing the good work, the bold work, the interesting work. And if we're not in the game to be interesting, then maybe we should find a different game. Also, it's not a bad thing to be scared when you're doing creative work. Just do as Elizabeth Gilbert says in her book, Big Magic. Allow fear to come with you on this journey. You can hardly prevent it from coming along. But make sure it's in the back seat with a coloring book and a box of crayons. You do not want to let fear drive the car. Wherever you fall on the scale of magic to craft, it doesn't matter. You're fine. You want to pull toward the center from wherever you are, but that's okay. You can do that. It's doable. And here's why you want to be closer to the center. Because magic is great. Magic is wonderful. Magic is dance and love and sex and laughter. It's pleasure and wonder and awe. Good stuff. But if it doesn't have a stage to dance upon, the only people who will see it and understand what it's doing will be in the front row. And that's great, but it screws over the rest of the audience that would also like to see the dance but can't because of the big 7-foot-tall goofus standing right in front of their line of view. Imagine being at a concert without a stage, or a play, or a movie theater where the screen is small and level with the floor and the seats don't rise up on an incline. Do you want to be in that audience, knowing this amazing dance is happening, but you don't have access to it? No. You leave the room in the middle of the show. Because if you can't watch the dance, then you might as well get the grocery shopping done, right? Conversely, do you, as an audience member, want to be in a theater where the stage is beautifully crafted, could hold up a whole line of stomping elephants, but no one is dancing? All the players are just standing there on the stage, not revealing themselves at all. Things are happening. The people on the stage are moving around, but they're not vulnerable. They're just wandering around. You're leaving that theater too, probably quicker than the one with the great dance that you can't see. This is what How Story Works is about. I'm teaching you how to build the stage so that you can make your dance visible, accessible, and captivating to the largest possible audience. And I will encourage you to discover and reveal your own magic. I can't tell you what it is, but I can help you discover it and coax it out of hiding. And we will absolutely get to that as well. You bring the magic. I'll tell you how to build the stage. And then when you combine those two elements, you will tell stories that will be both accessible and captivating. And that, my friends, is the game. All right, that's it for today. If you have questions about How Story Works, call 302-643-CHIP. That's 302-643-2447 and leave a message. Or you can email me at Lani@Chipperish.com or contact me on Twitter at Lani Diane Rich or at Chipperish with the hashtag HowStoryWorks. How Story Works is a free college-level course in narrative theory and is entirely supported by listener donations. For as little as $1 a month, you can help keep it in production and gain access to exclusive Chipperish content and a community of smart people who love stories. Visit patreon.com/Chipperish for more information. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.